about selling your home or simply want to make it more attractive? We've brought Danny Triplett with Westland Landscape in with his crew to help you make your home have more curb appeal. Danny, how do you begin a landscaping project?
The first thing I like to do is meet with the homeowner, find out what their needs and desires are with the landscape. After that, we draw up a landscape plan, get their approval, then we come over and start the installation process.
So after you have the homeowner's approval, what's the next step?
The next step is I would come over to the home with my paint gun. I would paint out the edge line of the landscaping, as you can see that we've done here. After I've got that done, my crew would come over with a sod cutter. They'll cut all of the sod out, creating the edging line as well. And after that, we bring compost, topsoil, and sand in, and we rototill the beds and get them prepared for the planting. And in a lot of cases, due to the heavy clay in this region, we add a lot of sand itself to the beds to create better drainage. We find that we have a lot more trouble with plant material dying due to sitting in too much water than we do drying.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, how about the direction of the house? Does that determine what type of plants and beds to put in?
Definitely. What I like to do is visit a site 2 or 3 times after I've had an initial meeting with the homeowner to look at the way the sun hits the house, how hot it gets, that sort of thing. And then we pick plant material specifically in mind for the sun exposure that that particular house gets.
For those of us who already have landscaping beds, what are some ways to add quick curb appeal?
Well, the quickest way to get color in your landscape and curb appeal is to add annual flowers. You could do pots like we've done here. You could also take the areas in your beds where you've got existing shrubbery and add annuals in those areas if you've got room. We like to use pansies and ornamental grasses at this time of year.
I've seen quite a variety of planters. What are some of the latest trends?
Well, one of the neatest things are these polyvinyl pots. These things are lightweight, they're easy to carry and move about. Back when I started in business, we had a couple of choices, wood pots or concrete or clay, and those things would absorb a lot of water. You had to be really careful that you got them drained, and even when you took the best care, they'd crack over the winter and create problems.
Now, how should we prepare the soil before we put the plants in the planter?
Well, one of the tricks that we do, we fill the bottom of these pots with packing peanuts. That makes the pot lighter and helps with drainage. We also use gel polymers that absorb water and release water out into the soil. And we always use Osmocote, which is a time-release fertilizer that just releases throughout the growing season for the flowers.
Oh, super. Now, how does that impact how often we should water the plants?
Well, it means you don't have to water near as often. But what I recommend is that you put your finger in the pot, and if it's moist, don't water it. And if the soil feels dry, then add water.
Now, Danny, you've discussed with us how we can use annuals to bring in that pop of color. What are your thoughts about perennials?
I always think perennials are a great way to go to add color to your landscape. Just remember when you pick your perennials to get spring flowering perennials, summer flowering perennials, and fall flowering perennials, so you don't end up with a time of the year that you have nothing in bloom at all.
We've received some great tips today. For some more great ideas, visit us at huntmidwest.tv.